Well, the announcement that was literally made within the last hour is that the truce is in place. The three opposition leaders met with the president and representatives of his administration. I think within the administration there are the hawks and the doves. Some have been pushing the president to crack down, and we were expecting a crackdown again tonight, similar to what we saw last night. But I think the pressure that's coming from the, especially ahead of tomorrow's EU meeting of foreign ministers, I think there has been a lot going on behind the scenes over the last few hours, both from all parties. And the message has been delivered to Mr. Yanukovych.
Yes, so excuse me, jumping in here, we were expecting some sort of action, considering he replaced the head of the army with somebody who's perceived to be much tougher. There were many people in his camp who felt that Viktor Yanukovych wasn't being tough enough.
I think it's a question of loyalty now. There have been cracks appearing within the army. We have seen some regiments, even from parts of Ukraine, not taking orders. So I think it's the riot, especially in terms of riot police. So in terms of the army, I think the president wants to be 100% sure that if he says, go, that people will go. At the moment, I think that there is some caution and some hesitation on whether that may or may not happen.
Okay, do you think this is likely to appease the EU and the US? Because there's talk of sanctions. And if sanctions goes ahead, do you think that could make a difference?
I think in the short term, when the EU foreign ministers sit down tomorrow, they will be breathing slightly easier. I think that the threat of sanctions sometimes is more potent than sanctions themselves. And I think here the question should be very much about targeted sanctions and personalized sanctions, mainly really focusing on the president, focusing on those in his administration that have been that are responsible for the bloodshed. And the question is also the financial backers, because we're hearing a lot that there's been a lot of talks now with the oligarchs, the big business leaders that have supported the regime, and the EU leaders have told them that they will also be targeted if the bloodshed continues. So I think that's really hitting it where it hurts. And I think that a lot has happened over the last couple of hours, over the last the course of the day, in terms of the threat of sanctions. And I think the message is starting to break through.
And do you think Yanukovych is feeling slightly empowered, considering how divided the opposition is, how fractured the opposition is?
I think the opposition, what is actually now coming onto the table during these talks is discussing of the removal of the president. At the moment, obviously, he's having none of it. But I think it's really the message that's starting to come across to him. It's going to be very difficult for him to continue running the country and being recognized as a president when he's the government and the riot police, which he's responsible for, have shot dead 26 protesters. That's the number we have at the moment. So I think that there are talks of finding a solution where would it be possible for him to leave, but giving him guarantees. I think what he's most scared of now is he does not want to end up where he's put Yulia Tymoshenko, i.e. in prison, because the risk is enormous that as soon as he is removed or he steps down tomorrow, then he'll be put into prison straight away. So he is fighting to save his life and his future. So I think if there are some guarantees that could be given to him, possibly in a foreign country, possibly somewhere in Central Asia, possibly Belarus, possibly Switzerland, where he could live a peaceful life, a future for him and his family, then that could be an option where he would have guarantees from a third party.